Hello class, my name is Tiffany Kraft. In today's lesson, I will be discussing with you how telemedicine, and more specifically telestroke, is improving the health of Americans in rural areas. The current event I have chosen to discuss is an article from Health Intelligence titled, UVA Cites Success with Telemedicine, Telestroke in Rural Care. This article corresponds directly to this week's lesson on how medical technology is refining healthcare and increasing the effectiveness of provider delivery methods. Specifically, the article discusses the success of UVA telemedicine programs and the challenges that are preventing telemedicine from being a success nationwide. Prior to discussing the findings in the article, let's review some basic terminology from our Chapter 5 reading that we'll utilize during our analysis of UVA's telemedicine programs. Telemedicine can be defined as the delivery of healthcare services and medical diagnoses through telecommunication technologies, like computers and smartphones, when the patient and provider are not face-to-face. One demonstration of telemedicine involves doctors controlling robots from an area outside of the operation room to perform surgery. Telehealth is more comprehensive than telemedicine. Telehealth utilizes a number of different technologies to assist with not only the delivery of healthcare, but also for research purposes, administration work, and the delivery of education to providers. As we will be reviewing references to telestroke, I am going to briefly discuss exactly what telestroke or telestroke technology is. Telestroke can be defined as the utilization of certain telemedicine hardware and software tools that allow neurologists to monitor stroke victims and give them instant treatment. When every moment counts, the instant care of stroke patients can lead to less damage and a faster recovery time. Prior to telestroke technology, on-call neurologists would have to rush to the hospital to give possible life-saving TPA treatment. Now, with the help of telemedicine, technologies like high-resolution imaging, this treatment is immediate. A unique fact about the telestroke program being offered by UVA Health is that it connects EMS providers directly to stroke victims when patients are en route to the hospital. This is allowing neurologists to communicate with the first responders to provide adequate, timely TPA treatments to patients prior to their arrival at the hospital. TPA is a clot-busting drug that, when administered to patients within 3 hours of a stroke, is most effective. Recently, the director of the Center of Telehealth at UVA, Karen Rubin, met with a subcommittee of the United States Senate to not only voice the successes of the telemedicine program at the University of Virginia, but also to state the challenges of expanding telemedicine across the country, specifically in those rural areas we discussed earlier. The largest challenge to telemedicine surrounds lack of funding to improve broadband networks in rural America. Additionally, UVA Telehealth made additional suggestions to the committee regarding telemedicine. First, the program sponsors believe improvements should be made to Medicare and Medicaid reimbursement to include telemedicine services. Furthermore, UVA Telehealth placed great emphasis on expanding the rural healthcare program to include wireless technologies, while also making money from RHC funding available to emergency providers and first responders. The Telecommunications Act of 1996 created the Rural Healthcare Program, better known as the RHC, to promote the delivery of health services in rural areas. At the time of its creation, the RHC was granted $400 million annually to support improvement of healthcare in rural America. Since then, the RHC has evolved to include 3 programs, which are the Healthcare Connect Fund, the Rural Healthcare Pilot Program, and the Telecommunications Program. Specifically, the Healthcare Connect Fund delivers funding to healthcare providers to encourage improvement of broadband connectivity. Under this program, qualified rural providers receive a 65% discount on certain eligible expenses. including things like broadband services and equipment. The telecommunications program, which was established in 1997, pledges to keep payment for telecommunication services for rural healthcare providers equal to or less than their urban counterparts. Additionally, the Rural Healthcare Pilot Program that was created in 2006 provides capital to states and regions for the expansion of broadband network services in non-urban areas. These programs are incentivizing rural healthcare providers to implement telemedicine initiatives that are saving patient lives. Upon meeting with the Senate subcommittee, Karen Rubin made a few recommendations regarding improving telemedicine throughout the country. She first suggested continuing to provide the RHC with $400 million for eligible expenses annually. Additionally, she discussed finding other federal revenues to support telemedicine, as well as streamlining administrative processes for healthcare organizations. Personally, I would take Rubin's recommendations a step further and request government involvement in providing incentives to telecommunication companies like AT&T to improve broadband connectivity in rural America. Additionally, educating both providers and Americans in rural areas could help lead to the additional development of medical treatments via telemedicine programs. The references that were utilized for this presentation can be seen here. Please take some time to read the article UVA Site Success with Telemedicine, Telestroke in Rural Care. Additionally, the other references listed here are very good resources if you wish to learn more about telemedicine and telestroke in rural America. As telemedicine continues to make advancements in healthcare and in America, the question I pose for you today is, how do we continue to improve telehealth in rural areas without adequate funding or provider incentives? Thank you for your time, class. I hope you have a great week.